Hello. So disclaimer. So this video discusses about the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and if you haven't watched it, please stop watching this video because you're gonna get spoiled. So there's a warning. So Obi-Wan Kenobi series is a series that takes place after the Order 66 events after 10 years. So it has 6 episodes. And as much as there are so many issues in this series, and as much as there's so many underutilized characters, I think it ended up pretty well. So I think it done a pretty good job in tying in this series to the original trilogy, which, like for example, when Vader said in the episode 4 A New Hope,
"When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master."
Only a master of evil, Darth.
so it actually connects in episode 5, which in this series the best episode out of all. We've seen Reva's backstory or flashback as to why she is so obsessed with getting Obi-Wan, and Anakin's flashback, which I think is the best out of all. I wish we could have seen them in the Clone Wars armor, but yeah, I'm still happy that we've seen them in the flashback together, not fighting, but training. And also, episode 6 actually is an alright episode. I think it is pretty good, just like episode 5, but episode 5 is more superior. So I think in episode 6, it concludes Reva's arc very well, and I think the final battle between Obi-Wan and Vader is spectacular. And I think they could have done more with that to make it more emotional, but I think the ending was perfect. It is top notch. I think the final episode should have been longer, and maybe all of the episodes should have been longer, but I think episode 6 should have been longer. But we can't just deny the fact that when Obi-Wan cut off the other half of the mask of Vader, it actually is poetic. It's just like from the Star Wars Rebels when Ahsoka cut off the other half. It's like they've taken or they freed some fragments of Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader. Both of them has each fragments, and the final catalyst to finally remove his whole helmet is his son Luke Skywalker, which I think is so poetic because it rhymes. It's just so sad that I feel like after Obi-Wan said his goodbyes in the final duel, Vader screamed his name, and I just feel like you can really hear that he is still in pain, that he wants to continue the fight, that Obi-Wan should have killed him to maybe end up his sufferings, but he left him again. Maybe in that scream, Anakin is there and saying to not leave him again. But either way, that duel is fantastic. So now let's talk about the issues that I have in this series. So there's actually a few. Like for example, the Leia chasing, which I think is so dumb. When the bounty hunters are catching her, I feel like they are giving her a head start. And just like when Leia found out why Obi-Wan is getting into some trouble and why they are chasing them with the misunderstanding stuff, the Obi-Wan just gives her a head start, which I think is so dumb. I think the choreography there is so dumb, just like the episode 4 where I forgot her name was, but she actually helped Obi-Wan rescue Leia. She slapped the stormtrooper in the head, I think, and it just knocked him unconscious, or knocked the stormtrooper unconscious, which I think is so dumb. And also the fifth brother or the other inquisitors or whatever, I think they are so underused. I think they are just there to make Reva's arc more appealing, but it actually didn't do it. But the actors that played it did it justice, I think. And I thought Grand Inquisitor is gonna be bad, but it's pretty menacing if you watch him. But you only see him in a few episodes or two, which I think is so, like I said, pretty underutilized. And all of the Inquisitors, like especially Fifth Brother, I wish we could have seen more of him, and the other girl as well. So as much as I have some problems in this series, I have some ideas as well. Like for example, in the final episode, I wish it was a little longer. I wish it has a 1 hour and 30 minutes, this kind of thing. And also the fight scene. I think the fight scene is done a pretty good job. I think the choreography is great, but I think it could have done more. The fight scene is great, the choreography is great, but like I said, it could have done more. Like for example, in the art of Star Wars, in the Revenge of the Sith book, this book includes George Lucas' ideas and concept that didn't make the final cut. Like for example, in the Mustafar, where Obi-Wan and Anakin is fighting, in the midst of their battle, there's a scary creature that pops out, which is more powerful than them. And I wish it could have happened in this series also. Right after the creature popped out, they're going to team up. And as they team up, they know their moves, they know their movesets. They're going to put their differences aside first and to beat the more powerful creature than them. And as they are doing so, as they are fighting the creature, I wish we could have gotten a flashback, or in this scene we will get a flashback scene as to maybe Clone Wars flashback, as they are fighting a similar creature or similar massive creature, and as they are fighting back and forth, maybe it switches to the present moment, or maybe it switches to the Clone Wars era, where we can finally see Anakin or Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen finally in a Clone Wars armor. And maybe after they beat the thing, in the flashback, Anakin is smiling towards Obi-Wan, like saying that they defeat the creature, and it transferred to the present moment where Anakin switches to Vader, and I think that will be a great scene as well. I think that scenes will just be an add-on because I think the fight is great. I'm not gonna change the ending. I think the ending is top notch. The ending of the duel, I think, is top notch. But in the rubble scene where Vader finally got in the high ground, I'm gonna change it a little bit. So when Obi-Wan got rubbled, I think when Obi-Wan is under the rubble, we could have heard Qui-Gon Jinn's voice. I wish that is where they introduce him, or maybe we could have seen more flashback as to what he is supposed to do, because Anakin is always in the offensive side, and moreover, him is always on the defensive side. Maybe we have gotten a flashback as to recalling that Anakin is more on offensive side and him on defensive side, or maybe Qui-Gon Jinn is telling him to be more on offensive, because after he got out of the rubble, he just attacked Vader in behind, which I think is a disrespectful move, in my opinion, if we are looking for similar cases to samurais, which respecting your enemy and not hitting them from the back. Or maybe we could have seen more struggles, just like in the Spider-Man Homecoming. And if you haven't watched that movie, maybe click or go to the timestamp right here. So now when Spider-Man is trapped in the rubble, I think he's getting some recalling from Tony Stark that he has nothing without the suit. So I wish we could have seen more struggle while he is getting out of the rubble, but I think it's fine. And what they did to him getting out of the rubble is actually fine, recalling his promise to Leia, which I think is fine, but I think they could have done much a greater scene than that. Well, those are my ideas. I think the series is done quite right. As much as there are so many issues and problems, I think it done a pretty okay job. That's my ideas. I don't really care about Reba, but it concludes her arc as well, and I wish we could have seen more. Like I said, over and over, Hayden Christensen more, as to because he's always there when advertising this series. So I wish we could have seen him more. But yeah, that is my ideas and that are my thoughts on this series. I hope you enjoyed, and if you want to see more, comment down below what you think about the series, what your ideas and stuff like that. I think that will be a great discussion to have. So yeah, that's it for this video, and see you guys later. Peace.